All right, so Yarok Field, for those that haven't been following the channel content, there are a number of Scapeshift decks that have been going around the format, playing 4 copies of the land Field of Dead, which makes 2/2 black zombies when you have 7 differently named lands in play. So this is a ramp deck with cards like these to allow us to get more lands into play faster, as well as Cavalier of Thorns. And then, unlike the Scapeshift decks, we're using Yarok to trigger multiple times on these Field of the Dead. So this is a little bit more fair Field of the Dead deck, as opposed to the kind of combo-focused versions that have been running around, like did well at the Grand Prix a little bit ago. Something that we're trying today is we tried one Tamiyo last time. We never really got to draw her. So to give a little bit more testing to this card, we've trimmed the 4th copy of Yarok, which it might be right to trim the 4th copy of Cavalier as opposed to the 4th copy of Yarok, but that's debatable. To fit a 2nd copy of Tamiyo in here to see how she feels. Lets us reuse some of our stuff in a way and dig for cards like Yarok. So this is one of the 3 decks that I've both been enjoying and has felt reasonably competitive to me in the format since since M20 dropped. This deck, Naya Feather, and Black Red Aristocrats are my 3 favorite decks in the format right now. I'm planning to play the standard Mythic Championship qualifier on Arena next month, and I'll probably be playing one of these 3. I don't know what Immolation Shaman does, so I don't have an answer for you. This seems super reasonable. Yeah, this archetype as a whole has felt really, really good. Yeah, I think I'm in for Assassin's Trophy here. So it's good against a lot of different decks in the format. Has a little bit of interaction. I have 3 lands guaranteed, and I have an Elvish Rejuvenator as well. Courageous Squid, thank you for the 5 months of support. I appreciate that. Welcome back. Hope your Monday is finding you swell wherever you are. Looks like we're playing against vampires. Being on the play was pretty good here. Now, this is a matchup where having fewer copies of... This is a matchup where having fewer copies of Yarok in my 75 is ultimately a bad thing, because Yarok's just this big lifelink creature, which is very, very good in these aggressive matchups in my experience. Okay, that's a Field of the Dead here, so because we were on the play and had a lot of acceleration, we might be able to stabilize this board. Hey, Big Show, thanks for the bits. Happy Monday. So I'm actually going to go ahead and block this, because if I block this, they have to pay 3 in order to get counters on these. So instead, they're going to cast something from their hand, which makes sense, but it means these don't get bigger this turn, which is nice. Oh, they can... Yep, that makes sense. Alright, if we hit a green source that we don't have in play and it's undefinite, like basic forest here would be great, so it would let us trophy this turn. I already have a breeding pool in play, so I don't want to get that, and I already have a blue-green temple. So I'm going to get Thornwood Falls, because not only does it gain me a life, but it triggers Field of the Dead here. As always, there's a deck list on your screen. You can also type !deck in chat to get a direct link to the deck list. I listened to you yesterday and went 6-0 at a paper tournament with Feather, so thank you. Awesome! Congrats! And I really like Feather, so I'm going to use those bits to add it back to the queue. Get that one back in there. Corv Mox, thank you for the 13 months of support. I appreciate that. Oh, vomit. How dead are we here? 3, 4, 5, 6. I think I like my blocks like this. And then Next turn, I can trophy this. If they don't have another Sanctum Seeker or a Sorin, we could potentially be okay here. All right, this gets around second Sanctum Seer. I personally really like the green splash. I can't speak to other people, but I personally like the green splash. Yeah, Sorin is has a super dead. Sorin and Othakaya were dead too. This, however, we can take care of. I think Kite-Claw is going to be a dumpster fire. Yeah, probably. If we're being honest with ourselves. The second trophy might be reserved for going after the first fort here. Wow, no attacks. Huh? Let's lead on this. All right, I'm really glad we did that first, because now I'm gonna blow this up before this comes into place. They draw one less card. Because I was thinking about trophying this in response. Now, like we said, they have a lot of draws that are really bad for us here. They just drew a bunch of cards. So, non-zero chance that we die next turn. There's almost certainly 4 Sorins in their deck, right? Yep, this is the Yarok field deck. The first deck in the stream title is always the deck that we're currently playing, unless I've forgotten to update it, which usually I'm pretty good about that. I think I'm supposed to hold on to this trophy for a turn here, just in case they have another Sanctum Seeker. Obviously can't play around Sorin, so not really worried about that one, but in the event they have another Sanctum Seeker, I can play around that, so let's make sure we do that. How is Pauper today? Kinda miserable. I don't think we're gonna be doing more Pauper content on the channel. Nexus is only banned in best of 1, Kenya. So if you're playing best of 3 with sideboards, it's still legal. Yep, yeah, they have to hit Sorin eventually. When they do, we'll be sad, but it is what it is. Maybe we can find a Yarok before that happens. Maybe. Ad nauseum, Philadelphia. Thank you for the 18 months of support. I appreciate it. Welcome back. Thanks for keeping me around. This big Mamma Jamma's got reach. So the 2-1 is not killing us just yet. Hey, congrats, MF. I think we want to block like this and kill one of these 4/4s. Going to 1 while they have active first fort kind of sucks, but I think it's the right thing to do. Sure. All right, so the goal here, the out that we're playing to is Risen Reef hits Yarok, Yarok hits some lands. And we're dead. They didn't draw a Sorin, but they found plenty of other spells. Thanks for the 7 months, Fonsetti. Welcome back. I appreciate it. What? It's a neat feature. It's an interesting feature. All right, so I think Tamiyo and Nexus are a little bit slow and clunky here. I don't think I want Noxious Grasp in this matchup. I think I just want the Witch Figures and the trophies. This seems fine. Let's run it. Hasbro, on the Hasbro earnings call, they mentioned that they were going to double their investment into Magic's digital products, which hopefully that means we'll have fewer issues with Arena, because it feels like their current team, while I'm sure they're trying their best, it seems like they're struggling to keep up with implementing new features, patching existing bugs, and coding new sets. Every release on Arena has felt like we're getting closer and closer to the bug-infested Magic Online that we know and hate. MTGO support team doubled to 2. I'm gonna bottom the trophy there because I'd really like an untapped land by turn 3 for these. It's a good hit. Duress is actually really bad against our deck on average, which is sweet, because everyone assumes we're a Scape Shift deck, and we're really not. Alright, so I think I'm gonna Scryland and Risen Reef here. It gives me a chance of playing Yarok next turn, but the upside of hitting Yarok next turn is pretty high, right? And our deck has 29 lands in it total, so like with 2 shots, we're a pretty good chance to hit this, right? So you'll notice there that I declined putting the swamp into play. And the reason for that was I hadn't played a land yet for the turn. So by putting it into my hand, it lets me play it untapped, so I can then Witch Figure this Legion's Lieutenant next turn, which is nice. If they don't have a removal spell for Yarok here, we're going to be in a pretty good spot. If they do have a removal spell for Yarok, we're probably going to be up a creek. They don't, they're dead. God bless us, everyone. Games like that kind of make me think not having the 4th Yarok is wrong. And maybe if we want to fit a 2nd Tamiyo, we should cut something else. Yay, glowing purple squares of doom. Glowing purple squares of doom. Disfigure is so good. It's a sign Watsy wants the pink hair back. That's the first time I've seen that bug too. Or today's the first time I've seen that bug. How much do you have to pay for that feature? Yep. Asking the real questions. I I think this is probably a mulligan, right? Like, it was like -1 field plus a ramp spell. I might actually entertain keeping this. I can't keep this, right? I'm on the draw. I have a Scryland. I actually think it's better on the draw than the play. Like, you're talking about you can't keep this on the draw. This hand is much better on the draw than the play. Like, Disfigure and Arboreal Grazer are, like, two of our best cards to have in the opener. This hand's better, believe it or not. Again, I would have gotten a Witch Figure the crap out of this guy. That was an excellent draw. No Lord here is real good for us. All right. All right. So you're saying there's a chance. Take a chance on me. Do 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 do. Yikes! Let's pull those back. Am I supposed to gain 3 with the Risen Reef here? I almost feel like I am. Yeah, like, these Cavalier of Thorns are going to provide plenty of value as we go along, right? Yeah. Yeah, between, like, Sanctum Seeker and Sorin and stuff like that, I kind of agree that they have a lot of reach in their deck. And this puts me to 12. Yeah, I think this is the right line. They have the 5-drop. I'm definitely trophying something this turn. Or maybe I'm not.
I march into battle as your champion of justice. I will lend you my strength.
I want to leave a green-black land up here, so that way any green or any black source lets me trophy if I miss on Field of the Dead. Hey, Curtin Shee. Thank you for the 12-month support. I appreciate that. Welcome. Thanks for keeping me around. That's really unfortunate. No blast zone and no green or black land. That's kind of a worst case scenario. I have not felt the need for a sweeper effect in this format, Unbanned Twin. I think sweepers are actually pretty bad against a lot of the aggro decks that exist in this format on average.
I believe in you.
I believe in you. Like, what does a sweeper do on this board? It, like, kills... Wait, what? Is that a misclick? I didn't trophy end a turn because do I really care? Like, what did I want to trophy on that board? Like, which of their cards do you feel like I really cared about? And why do you think I cared about that card? Yeah, the Gideon's indestructible on their turn. Alright, so do I just get Reef back here? Or do I get Trophy and Trophy these two? I kind of think I want to get Trophy. Because next turn, I have enough mana to play Rejuvenator and Trophy both their Planeswalkers. I can Calv and Trophy, but their Gideon is currently on 6, which means it could exile it. So I think that's not ideal.
Another day.
Fish Lamp, thanks for the 11 months of support. I appreciate that. Welcome back. Thanks for keeping me around. I mean, 3 fields off the elf is fine. This isn't a matchup where I need multiple fields. And like, I've got a Blast Zone sitting here on 1 that's going to clean up these 2. I've got plenty of blockers for this Vanguard now. I've got a Cavalier of Thorns in my hand, so we're at 12 life, so we're a pretty incredible favorite at this point. They need to hit like their draw 5 here, and then like more stuff past that. What do you mean extra dude, Nifty? I don't think you know what Trophy does. Field of Ruin. And so I'm actually, how do I deny them a vampire? Oh, you're saying because they didn't have a land to do this? Okay, got it. It probably doesn't matter. You're right. You are right. It is technically correct to do it during their upkeep. I don't really care though. So I'm using this Field of Ruin before I play the Cavalier of Thorns, and the reason for this is my Elvish just put 2 fields on the bottom of my deck, and I want to shuffle those fields back in before I play the Cavalier. The technically correct crowd is correct on this this one specific issue. I agree with you. You are technically correct. In the ultimate of things, it just doesn't matter, but you are right. Look at that. Shuffled field back in, hit a field, take action. Yeah, we're done here. Their 1/1 doesn't matter. And they are aware their 1/1 doesn't matter. How are we doing, folks? Welcome. Good morning, good afternoon, good night to everybody, wherever you're at in the world. Thanks for dropping in here today. If you're a new viewer, welcome. My name is Jeff Hoagland. I stream full-time here on Twitch. I'm here playing Magic 30, 40, sometimes even 50 hours some weeks. As always, I'd love to give a shout out to my wonderful subs. I wouldn't be here today without their support, so thanks to all of them for keeping me employed. I'd also like to plug a couple of my sponsors here really quick. The Vitamin String Quartet makes unique instrumental string arrangements, everything from Zelda to Zeppelin, and they would love to underscore your next gaming session. You can find them streaming now on services such as Spotify and Apple Music. Hey, John Sensens with the brand new Prime support. If you're one of the many people out in the world who has Amazon Prime, like John Sensens there, if you link your Amazon account to your Twitch account, you get Twitch Prime included with that for free, and it gives you a free channel subscription every single month to a channel of your choice here on Twitch, such as my own or anyone else. InkDMing.com will love to help you customize your gaming experience using code Jeff12. You can save 12% on custom playmats, mouse beds, binders, and bags with them. You can upload your own custom artwork or choose from the wide range of artwork that they already have on their website. Striker Wow, thank you for the 2 months of Prime support. Welcome. Thanks for keeping me around with that again. CoolStuffInc.com buys and sells a lot of cool stuff, including TCG singles. Using promo code Jeff5, you can save 5% on Magic, Pokemon, and Yu-Gi-Oh cards there with them. We are heading on in to our next match here with this Yarok field deck that I've been enjoying a lot in Standard. 1-0 to start the day after beating some vampires. If you haven't seen this deck before and you think it's sweet, this is one of the many awesome Standard decks you can find on my website, magicesports.net. Click standard decks at the top and you'll find great pages with current deck lists, descriptions of how the deck work, and then videos of me playing those decks. You can see them in action before you spend your precious wildcards on them. This hand has some tapped lands, but on the play especially, I think this is more than keepable in most matchups in this format. To go this, into pay 2, play a Rejuvenator or a Reef here. Which of these we play will probably be dictated by what our other draws look like. Like, if we still don't have a third green source for Cavalier, we'll probably play Rejuvenator, but there's the third green source, so probably going to play Reef. Belthor, coming in hot with that brand new Prime support. Welcome, welcome. There's a lot of great people you can send that to every month here on Twitch. Thanks for sending it my way this month. This deck is very good. This is one of the 3 decks that I both enjoy in this format and I think is very competitive. This, Naya Feather, and Black Red Aristocrats are going to be the 3 decks that I pick between for the Mythic Championship qualifier next month. Crazy Duck, thank you for the tier 2 sub. It's very generous of you. Remember, my tier 2 subs support me a little bit extra, so you can bump a deck in the deck queue every month, so be sure to take a peek and let me know what you'd like to see a little bit sooner. Because you don't have cards like Force of Will in Modern. Cards like Force of Will make standard Modern Delver a whole lot different than what it is in Legacy. Also, the types of decks you're playing against in Modern tend to be very different than the types of decks you're playing against in Legacy. So while a second Field of the Dead would be nice here, I'm currently missing a black source, and I have another field in my hand anyway, so I'm gonna go ahead and grab Temple of Malady here. Temple of Malady. Random Number God coming in hot with the 4 months. I appreciate it. Welcome back. Thanks for keeping me around. Mardu Hero. Sounds good. For people who are my regulars, I'm trying to announce some changes that are going to be happening this week, for instance. If you don't follow me on Twitter, I post my schedule there every week. So this is going to be a shorter week for me personally. I'm going to Gen Con with my wife later in the week, so I'm going to be streaming today for a long time and then tomorrow for a long time, but I'm only doing a half day on Wednesday and I'll be off Thursday, Friday. This is a pretty good turn, don't you think? This turn was an excellent example of why I don't think Scapeshift is necessary in this deck. Just Yarok plus our ramp spells just pump out such an incredible amount of zombies very quickly. Another small change to the stream that's not going to impact our day-to-day in any way. This is going to be my last month being affiliated with Tempo Storm. So that's just going to be some branding changes, but I just wanted to let people know in advance so they're not surprised and asking questions when it just happens in August. Keeps from decking. So we already have a copy of Nexus of Fate to keep us from decking, and I think that's the ideal I don't want to deck out card, basically. One thing I like about this is stuff like Deputy is far worse. Yeah, I agree, Trax. A lot of the hate cards that are good against like Bantscape Shift tend to be lackluster against us because we're putting our things into play naturally. I actually pulled the Tempo Storm emote already, so yeah. So we have an open emote slot. So maybe we could brainstorm together on what we should do with that open emote slot. All right, so Disfigure doesn't kill very much in this matchup. Arboreal Grazer also doesn't block very much, but it might be worth it just to fog a Drake for the turn. I don't think Shifting Ceratops is very good here. Like, which of these cards are least bad is kind of the question. Like, is Grazer the least bad of them? This does gain reach. That's very true. I forgot this gains reach. Maybe this is fine, huh? This eats phoenixes and it trades with drakes. I like that suggestion. Yeah, dab emote could be a good one. I forgot this gains reach. This is not a matchup where risking decking is going to happen very often, so I like trimming Nexus of Fate in the matchups that you're not grinding. Same thing with Tamiyo too. I'm going to leave a couple of Grazers in as an acceleration. Oh, it's pro blue. Yeah. Yeah, interaction. Yeah, protection. Fun and interesting. Bad Whamma Jamma coming in hot with the 7 months. I appreciate that. Welcome back. Thanks for keeping me around. So I was gonna play a Temple on one and just not shock myself, but we drew Elvish Rejuvenator here, so I'd like to do that on 2 now. I would love to keep a trophy on top for their first threat. Yeah, our hand's pretty reasonable here. We have all of our colors, so Field of the Dead is great here. We're actually going to have a pretty aggressive start, right? Like, we're going to get to go Woodland Cemetery, play this, give it haste attack you next turn. And like, we have, this is different land 5, different land 6, so we're like pretty close to activating this. We have a trophy. Yeah, feels like an incredibly strong start for us here. This means we could start, Rejuvenator means we could start triggering Field as early as next turn. Again, I feel just like a really good showing of like why our deck is powerful and consistent without Scape Shift. Yeah, Lava Coil 1-for-1's this efficiently, but it's notably bad against the rest of our deck, right? I don't have a Hinterland Harbor yet, right? Nope. I love that this doubles Scry lands too. It's so good. Like, even if they put a bunch of Phoenixes into play here, they're going to be in a lot of trouble. Done here. Feels like we're pretty done here. Trophies lethal. You're probably right. Listen, I want to make some zombies, okay? I probably want to make some zombies. I definitely didn't realize this was lethal before I started doing things, but, you know, once we were there, I wanted to just, you know, keep going. For the people, you know, get 10 zombies into play. 10 zombies, no Scape Shift, no problem. They could technically have a shock here, right? Yeah, they could technically have a shock there. He's dead! Stop killing them! Mercy! Look at all of our prizes. Our prizes and our experience. Sweet memes are made of these. Who am I to disagree? Yeah, we're rank 50. Did we accidentally become one of those tryhard streams? All the other tryhards put their current rank in their stream title. Am I supposed to put our rank in our stream title, chat? Is that what we're supposed to do? When we're into the double digits, are we supposed to put our rank in the stream title? What are this deck's bad matchups? I don't know. I feel like this deck has had a chance playing... It had a chance in basically every match we've played. How greedy is it to bottom a land here? I think I want to bottom a land here. Our deck has so much mana in it. Yeah, I'm going to do that. So there aren't elegant tricolor frames. If you look at tricolor Magic cards, they're just gold mush. So when I play 3-color decks like this, I make my frame just the 2 primary colors of the deck. And this is definitely a base Simic deck. Yeah, I agree, Flock. I think this deck's pretty okay against Feather. And I agree with your assessment that Feather tends to be good against the banned Scapeshift deck. Going for top one in the ladder and Kite Clark combo seems like a contradiction in the title. That's fair. Yeah, I agree. This card having reach is huge. Very, very good. All right, so looking for... We got 2 draws sitting on tapped land. All right, what are we naming with Tamiyo? What are we naming with Tamiyo? Yeah, it's probably Reef, huh? I think I like naming Reef. Yeah, it is a shame Tamiyo can't get lands. You're not wrong. Thoughts on Hagak dominating this weekend's tournaments? Listen, Green Tron won 2 of the tournaments this weekend. Sounds like some fake news to me that you're going on about Hagak doing well. I reject your reality and substitute my own instead. I already have a Temple of Mystery here, so I'm gonna grab a basic land instead. Top 8 was all unique decks. So, if we're not being incredibly facetious, it's important to remember that the top 8 of the Mythic Championship involves D-Spark. Gosh, that's rude. The top 8 of the Mythic Championship explicitly involves, the top 8 of the Mythic Championship involves Modern, or involves Limited, so those results are a little bit biased for that reason. Alright, looking for a land that we don't already have in play here, because we currently have 6 differently named lands. This would give us 2 2/2s, which will stunt their attacks a little bit here. Gak had an incredible number of the... Yeah, Grazer doesn't have a foil option. Every card that comes in foil in this deck is foil. We're not some kind of plebeian, chat. We're doing our best, okay? If they don't have another D-Spark and they just have a regular removal spell for this, we're going to be in a pretty good spot. They're bouncing my Cavalier of Thorns. That is a legal game action. All you need to know about the fair decks in Modern, they could have Thought Erasure, is that Gabriel Nassif did not play blue-white control, and Reed Duke did not play Jund. So please stop telling me those decks are good, because you're lying to me and you're lying to yourself. That's all I'm gonna say on the matter. Alright, so Risen Reef into Cavalier should mean we stabilize pretty hard this turn. The goal here is going to be not getting burned out by Oathakaya from here, which is a very real possibility. Which I think I want the life gain. Gen Cons this weekend, Danon. Sweet. Hitting a land here is very good. We have a land in our hand here, too. We just need to go wide. Thanks for bouncing my Cavalier of Thorns. I appreciate you, opponent. We'd love to draw like a Yarok at this point.
I'm not making this up as I go.
Yeah, pretty above average turn for sure. So they've got 9 creatures. I've got 9 creatures, as you will. I think this matchup is good for us on average. It's not unlosable, but it's good. Command the Dreadhorde is a card that could get us from here because we have a lot of decent cards in our graveyard that they could get back. Deputy Detention would be good for them here. That's very true. That's a card that hasn't really been popular in these hero decks recently, though. Yep, I mentioned we need to not get burned out by Othakaya, which is the direction they're heading in. Yep, and they're recognizing that value is not the way that we're going to win this game. They need to just burn us out. Trophy was perfect there. Why is Trophy perfect? They're already through 2 3-mana Tefris. I think I just Trophy their hero and start attacking them. You can basically never Trophy in response to a Teferi bounce because Teferi has static text. If I attack with all of these, I have 8 blockers to their 10 attackers. I think I just need to put them under pressure. Trophying the Oath is only good if they have exactly more copies of Teferi Time Raveler, and they're already through 2 copies of Teferi Time Raveler. So I think that's not ideal. Unless they despark this, I don't mind it dying too much because it gets us back. It gets us back a Tamiyo, which gets us back a Risen Reef. Yarok off the top would be absurd here because not only does it have lifelink, but it triggers Risen Reef 4 times. So if I attack like this, 9 of these are lethal. So they're only able to block 2. They only have to block 2, which means they attack me back with 9 tokens, and I'm going to get 2 blockers. So I'm going to get 2 extra blockers. So I'd have 6. So I'd go block and then block 4 of these, which means I take 5 and go to 1. So if I attack with everything, I'm dead to an Othakaya. I think that's a good attack still, though, right? I guess. Yeah, they're gonna get to block with the mage. They have to block with 1 other. Maybe I want to wait a turn. The problem is if I wait, this is threatening to go off next turn. I don't know. We needed to draw a spell or a land that was a spell. Holding back some zombies attacking with Cavalier might be right, too. It's possible I should have attacked with this last turn, too, even. We could die on this backswing here. Hey, Tantrum, thanks for the 14 months. I appreciate that. Welcome back. Yeah, the double hero early, and then us breaking a little bit late, and then them having a lot of oaths, like...
Let's try this.
I'm not dead on board, right? But I'm dead to a removal spell. I'm dead to that, right?
I'm known for my excellent type reverse.
Yeah, I block here, and then I take exactly 6. It's pretty unfortunate. I don't know, like, if I don't attack with everything, if I don't attack with all the zombies, I face, like, having a much slower clock, and, like, at that point, the Teferi's getting ready. The Teferi's getting ready to pop off, too, which makes waiting worse for me. Like, once the Teferi goes to 3, I'm under a lot more pressure in that way, too. Yeah, meh. Nah, Disfigure's pretty bad. You don't really... That game was a good example. My opponent was on the play that game, had double hero, and just barely managed to win. So, like, the best case scenario heroes aren't even that good in this matchup. Whereas, like, Noxious Grasp tends to be much better because it kills their planeswalkers and their heroes. Nah, I think we just want to pressure them to try and beat Dreadhorde. I think ego for Dreadhorde is too narrow after playing this matchup a couple of times. I don't know, like, so the 4th Yarok was replaced by a Tamiyo, so I think, like, trying to equate that game to not having a Yarok is silly, because we also didn't have a Tamiyo, and if we had a Tamiyo, Tamiyo probably would have also won us the game. So going back to the trophy on their hero versus Oath versus 3-3, yeah, I don't, why, instead of making me justify my line to you, Big Kitty, can you tell me why you think my line was wrong? Because I obviously think my line was correct. That's why I took my line. So if you think I should have killed something else, explain why I should have killed something else. Yeah, Unmoored Ego is for other Field of the Dead decks than Nexus of Fate. Not on Twitch much these days, but when I am, you're the first channel I turn on. Well, thanks for dropping the Prime support off again, Bulgarian. Twitch Prime pays my mortgage these days, so thanks for keeping me around. Yeah, this is fine. This matchup's not super aggressive, so Risen Reef on 3 is my first play is decent. It's a little bit awkward that I don't have triple green in this hand, but I think it's still keepable. Don't be super results-based, Dakazoom. I was simply pointing out that in this specific situation, Yarok had no bearing on it, and you're just, like, shouting random crap at me, which is not welcome here. If you want to make a card suggestion for a deck that we're playing, have some intelligent and reasonable discourse about it. Tell me why you think it's worth playing, and what you think we should be cutting for it, and why you think those are good exchanges. Hitting a land and a 3rd green source is kind of the perfects there. Wow. I am really surprised this didn't die if they left it in our hand. They were that afraid of this Shifting Ceratops. Anytime you get to trigger this card twice, it's just like, Thanks, Flying. We do what we can. Yeah, the fact that they took Ceratops from me there kind of makes me think that they don't really understand what axis this matchup needs to be fought on. Like, what the important part of the matchup is.
Keep an open mind.
So that's gonna get to kill this next turn, but, like, it triggered 3 times, so, like, good luck, Godspeed. I think I have enough of my colors at this point. I'm gonna grab Blast Zone. Oh, we did have a trophy in the bin, didn't we? No, we didn't, right? This just went into play off the Cavalier? No, we just milled it. Yeah, Noxious doesn't kill Hostage Taker. How's Standard gone so far? This is the first deck of the day, and I like this deck a lot. Yeah, I think Tamiyo named Trophy is gambling a little bit too much. I guess I had 4 of them in 40 cards, so you're pretty likely to hit it. Now, this is a spot worth noting that if I had a Yarok, I'd be pretty. If this Tamiyo was a Yarok, I think we'd be better off here. Now that being said, she's gonna name Yarok when I go up here, so maybe she'll just draw one. Yeah, so like the fact that this Tamiyo was not a Yarok is kind of a big deal here. The Yarok would have drawn us what? 2 cards? What are the current top tier decks? I don't know. I don't like making shit up, so I don't have a good answer to you for that. You know, Magic isn't a game. Sorry, I try not to swear. I slip up sometimes. Magic's not a game like Hearthstone and others where we have very clean, objective data. So I can't just tell you meaningfully, reasonably, in an objective sense which decks are doing well. And we haven't had a lot of big tournaments in the standard format, because notably, there's only been 1 Grand Prix and 1 Open. Surf the Waves, thank you for the brand new Prime support. I appreciate that. Welcome. Happy Monday. My feels. I need more feels. So, I also would like to challenge something that Ozzy Pants just said there, which they said the meta fluctuates a lot. In my opinion, this is something that is hard to tell without really big data sets. What a lot of people constitute to the meta fluctuating is actually just the fact that they think anecdotal evidence and data are the same. And what a lot of people are attributing to the meta fluctuating in reality is just the simple fact that they're seeing different small sets of anecdotal data in different spots. So, it's not really that things are meaningfully different. It's that you're just seeing a different small set of data this time around. All right, so what I want to do here, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So this is 10. I kind of want to plus this and name Risen Reef, I think. And then I can cast it and then cast Nexus of Fate. And we miss, so I can still cast Nexus. Field is Strip Mine for reference. Yeah, that's good to note. Alright, and now I'm gonna get back the Cavalier.
The storied past holds our future.
And I think I actually want to leave Field of Rune untapped here. I think there's a chance I want to activate that. And now this is instant speed 2/2/2s. So go. Yeah, Tamiyo's been good here. Tamiyo's been very good here. Is there a basic left in my deck? There's 2 basics left in my deck. Good deal. If I tap different, I could have activated Blast Zone here. Start with this and see where we end up at. Card like Legion's End useful in the sideboard. Why do you think a card like Legion's End would be useful in the sideboard? What problem do you envision my deck having, and how are you solving it by adding that card? I want to just start pressuring their health total here to make Command the Dread Horde a worse top deck for them. Alright, so I bottomed a Yarok. There's only one Yarok left in my deck. What do I want to plus this Tamiyo to name? I'm through 3 trophies. I'm through 3 Ceratops. I don't have enough mana to cast Nexus of Fate. I named Cavalier of Thorns. I think it's the card I most want to draw.
And fine.
We're down to 12 cards here. Sure. That was a new animation. Alright, so we went past Nexus of Fate here, unfortunately. So we know Nexus is at our bottom, however many. I can pick something back up with Tamiyo here. Do I want Yarok? If I wanted Yarok, I probably wanted to do him before that, right?
To the library.
This, like, puts the need for another sweeper on them. Alright, and then they're deterministically dead because we drew a land and there's
I think you will find my notes helpful.
I like this copy of Nexus of Fate. So they're dead. They're not taking another turn. This is actually our first time we've done this. So any amount of power, cast Nexus, attack you, cast Nexus, attack you, etc., etc. And that's why there's a Nexus of Fate in the deck, in case Tamiyo and Cavalier like deck you out. You can just sit there and like attack them with any amount of stuff. Yeah, we went through a lot of the deck there. That's why. I know like the one Nexus of Fate seems weird, but that situation right there is why we're playing it. And like, we're a ramp deck too, so like randomly paying 7 to take an extra turn is like not a big deal in like the mid game. But like that against any deck where you're not in danger of decking, you should board the Nexus out. But in this matchup specifically, I think it's pretty good. That's the first time that situation's has come up for us. But I think if I was playing a lot of Esper matches, I would expect it to come up, like, with some frequency. Yeah, maybe. I didn't think about the line of killing my own thing in response to Despark. So the people that are talking about the grasp in response to the Despark line, that's probably good. I concur with your assessment. Pray waits, I removed your message because you decided to call a magic deck cancer. I'd prefer if in my spaces we don't refer to things in the children's card game as comparable to diseases that kill people. Please and thank you. Sounds a little bit speculative, but our deck's got so many lands in it, we're on the draw, that I'm going to go ahead and try and hope for the best here. Nexus was basically Jace there, but harder to interact with. Yeah, exactly, Steric. What format is this one? I've not played Magic in a decade. This is Magic's standard constructed format. Standard is basically the only format that you can play meaningfully for constructed all the time on Arena, which is Magic's latest digital offering. We are specifically playing best of 3 standard, so there's sideboarding in between each of the games. The Brick Wallace had some issues recently, but got through all of that. Great to be able to support my favorite streamer again. Thanks for the content, but my tier towards Yarok, Field B, Multi Brick. I appreciate it. Good to have you back. I'm going to go ahead and trophy this Narset here, because she's going to draw them at least one more card anyway, so might as well turn it into a land. Hey, nice, Dannon. Yeah, Aristocrats is a lot of fun. Look at that. Look at that. Just like we drew it up. It's not untapped, but it'll do. Better than missing. So, I think the black memorial is worse than the blue memorial on average a lot of the time, mostly because our Cavaliers tend to exile themselves, which means Yarok is basically the only meaningful thing to do with it.
I got this.
Do I lose my Noxious Grasp or my Ceratops? If you're looking for a verb other than cancer to describe decks that you don't like, toxic is a good one. Rancid is a good one. There's a whole English language full of descriptors out there. Obnoxious, stinky, smelly. If they have a 5 mana Teferi here, I'm going to be a little bit sad because I don't have a way to take that off the table. Pick your favorite Elvish Rejuvenator, opponent. So this is less likely to hit a land this turn than Rejuvenator is, but it's also more valuable to have in play. So I think I'd rather have this in play. Yikes. I decided not to Rejuvenator last turn because they had a Thought Erasure in their hand, and Rejuvenator is less valuable overall than Risen Reef is on average. I find it funny that's where you draw your line in the language. You mean referring to things that are diseases that kill people? Because I know I swear on occasion because I'm a flawed human being who grew up in a certain way, casually swearing for a long time. But, I do generally make an effort not to swear on stream and often apologize when I do it. My opponent not counting with Command the Dread Horde seems like a good way to win that one. Hey, Hacksaw, thank you for the 5-month resub. I appreciate that. Welcome back. You know, I didn't think we were winning that game, but then oopsie poopsie. Yeah, they must have forgotten that Command the Dreadhorde was costing them 6 life. The deck memed too hard and self-destructed. Yep. Yeah, this is fine. I have all my colors. I have a growth spiral. It's like the low end to keepable. How much do I have to pay you to finish that draft? I should probably just resign. Looks like Jund Dino's on the other side of the table. Yeah, muting emotes disables your opponent's cat. Which, speaking of anybody who's been away from Arena for a second, this over here, this is Buddy. He's our cat. We call him Buddy because we got Buddy here instead of a friends list. You know, Arena things. This guy gives dinosaurs haste, which is really scary. Unfortunately, not able to cast Assassin's Trophy there off of my basic island. Rejuvenator. I think I'm bottoming that. I think I'm looking for Cavalier at this point. Do you have a hot take on the complaints of pro players in the direction of the competitive game? I think it is understandable that players who like the current competitive, who liked the previous competitive structure of Magic, are sad that it's changing. But I also think that competitive Magic has never been the moneymaker for Magic, and pretending that it is kind of just silly. It is unsurprising to me that they are currently restructuring how competitive Magic works, because the world's a changin'. They have some damages here. We're looking for, that's a Risen Reef, huh? Oh, you know what? I was supposed to play Field of the Dead out rather than this temple, wasn't I? I think I'm supposed to keep this. I'm going to 6 here. I can play double Reef next turn. Well, if I had played Field off my growth spiral there, I would have been able to double Reef this turn and potentially trigger the Field. Give me a land I don't already have. Give me a land I don't already have. Alright. Oh-ho. We're halfway there. Oh-ho. Living on a prayer. Take my hand. We'll make it, I swear. Do-do. Obviously, they have draws here that kill us, but if we don't die this turn, we're going to be en route to stabilization pretty solidly here. Who's got 2 thumbs and can't beat a Collision Colossus? This guy right here. I guess I could have played around Lightning Strike. In theory, I could have played around a Lightning Strike there. Just the fairest of Nexus of Fates. I was actually not alive in the 80s, Captain Shenanigans. Thank you. Thank you very much. We could still die to a lightning strike here, chat. We could still die to a lightning strike here. But if we don't get lightning struck, we're probably winning this game.
Intriguing tonight. I have learned much from my ancestors.
Yarok and our life gain lands with a whoo-hoo! Woo-hoo-hoo-hoo! Who's got two thumbs and is no longer dead to lightning strike? This guy right here. Papi. Excellent. Excellent. That's what I'm talking about. No longer dead to Galta because we've got this trophy. We're checking off the boxes here. Should kill their haste. Nah, I can kill this in response. Red Rover, let the dinos come over. Concession trophy? Concession trophy? Boop. It felt like a concession trophy. All right, Grasp is great. Trophy's great. Nexus and Tamiyo are. I know Nexus was okay there, but Nexus comes out in all these aggro matchups. All the aggro matchups, just get it out of your deck. I think I want to bring in a couple of these because they block okay. These don't really block great, but accelerating is important in this matchup. This is another matchup where Yarok's lifelink death touch stat line is important. So I'm not convinced that the second Tamiyo is better than the fourth Yarok. Anybody who is currently participating in the political dark place, I saw a tag in there, I skimmed it, I banned them, it's okay. I'm gonna give people who are watching the best piece of advice ever. If there's a content creator who's doing something that you don't enjoy, you don't need to announce that you're unhappy with it. You don't need to voice your displeasure. You should just go watch someone else instead. If a content creator is someone who's willing to change fundamentally something that they're doing every time someone complains about it, that's probably not someone you want to be watching anyways, because their content is going to be jerked back and forth all around so much anyways as they try to cave to pressure from every direction. This hand obviously needs a third land, but if it finds it, it's very good. Good morning, Bob. More aristocrats, always happy to do that. The worst part about this deck is that I can't even add it to my memoir 26 lands later, because there's 29 lands in this deck. Always happy to play more aristocrats. The fact that we missed our land drop there and they have an aggressive start probably means we're dead here. Thanks, Bob. It does Dream in America. It attacks on lots of different axes. It's not, this build is not nearly as susceptible to hate cards as the traditional Scapeshift builds are. We are very did not have time to stumble there. And then it was a little speculative, but like if we hit the untapped land on 3, we were gonna be fine. So I think it's worth keeping. May a dedicated day to play Historic with user-submitted decks, or just play them as they come. I think when Historic drops in the fall, my plan is to do 1 day a week of Historic decks, and then how much Historic we play on this channel is going to be dictated by, just the metrics. How popular the day is in terms of viewer count, how many decks are submitted by people, how Standard feels versus how Historic feels. As with all my decisions here, we're going to sample it a little bit and then make an intelligent, data-driven decision once I have data to work with. This hand doesn't have any ramp in it. It's hoping to draw some lands, but it's like pretty interactive, right? So I think this is fine. So, for the record, I think that, so they announced Historic, for those that aren't keeping up with Magic constantly, Historic is coming in the fall, and it's going to be a new non-rotating format on Arena that they've said is, 1, not going to have a lot of support, and 2, it's not going to have any sets back added to it. So basically, Historic is just going to be this current Standard format, which, while I don't think this current Standard format is anything special, I wouldn't include it in any of my top favorite formats of all time lists, I think this format is fine. It's not a format that I hate. So I think if Historic is just this current format, it's something I wouldn't mind playing on Arena once a week or so as a little bit of a change of pace. Semi-Valley, thank you for the brand new Prime support. There's a lot of great people making a lot of great stuff on Twitch right now. Thanks for supporting mine this month with that. I think you're decent at Magic, but I disagree with your important issues such as Chipotle is good. I think you should avoid them. Oh, God bless you, subs. God bless us, everyone. Well, I appreciate it, Valley. Thanks for keeping me around, and welcome to the channel. Yeah, I think I agree with that, number 15. I think if you asked me, to rank the Standard formats of this cycle, I would put GRN at the first, but I think this one is number 2 for me currently. The Yarok animation is very good, I agree. Hey, Modal, thanks for the 17 months of support, I appreciate that. Welcome back. Noxious Grasps of their own, okay. Our trophy case is going to be very full after this match. So our best draws from this point are things like Cavalier of Thorns, basically, right? Just an individually powerful card that gets us ahead a little bit. Yeah, I agree, Zentoth. They took the least effort possible way to approach Historic. God, on my sticks. Chicago pizza is okay. I personally tend to prefer thinner crust. Like and this might be sacrilege, so maybe I shouldn't say it publicly on Twitch, but Christy and I ordered Giordano's for dinner last night, and we got their thin crust pizza. And that might lose me some subs saying out loud, because I don't mind their deep dish, but I think I prefer thin crust on average. So I apologize to anybody who feels compelled to unsubscribe finding out about my Giordano habits, but, you know. So that's how I feel about Rosati's. Rosati's is fine. So I'm waiting till they activate Huntmaster here. So we're actually in a kind of okay spot. Like, it's coming down to top decks here, obviously. Another trophy. I mean, this blocks the Raptor here nicely, right? So if we find a Cavalier, we're actually going to be pretty far ahead here. So I'm going to trophy this Ceratops in response to the Raptor trigger. Because if the Ceratops is dead when the Raptor trigger resolves, the Raptor doesn't get bigger, so it's going to stay at 2 power, because this doesn't actually deal damage to anything. So we deny them the +2, so we get to block profitably here. I'm also a heathen who puts dressing on my pizza. There's a place in town called Monocle's Pizza in Bloomington where I live. I think they're a chain. They probably exist in other places too, I'd assume. And their dressing is really good. Like I brought some of the leftover pizza downstairs to heat up for lunch today, and I definitely brought ranch dressing down with it. Yeah, salad dressing. There's a Blood Sun in play. I'm gonna resub for the ranch. Listen, I live in the Midwest. We put ranch on everything, okay? Ranch is in everything dressing, chat. Ranch is in everything dressing. Don't gult to me again. Please don't gult to me again. Again, trophying this in response, because then this doesn't get bigger and this doesn't take damage, so they don't draw a card. The fact that they have this Blood Sun in play cuts off my Field of the Deads as being reasonable draws here, though. And I'm actually through all 4 Assassin's trophies. So my Tamiyos are boarded out at the moment. So I'm going to need to have another Cavalier die before I can take this Blood Sun off the table. Which is pretty unfortunate for us. The top of their deck's been real good. Hopefully they can draw some blanks to mix in with our Arboreal Grazers. To be fair, I guess the top of our deck also has been kind of okay. Like, our deck's got 29 lands in it, and we've only drawn 6 so far this game. And all of our utility lands are currently shut off, which is pretty unfortunate. Our best draw at this point is one of our other 3 copies of Cavalier, for sure. Yarok's an okay secondary draw, just because it lifelinks. Kind of regretting not having Tamiyo in my deck at the moment, though. I'm gonna hang on to this for now, just because if we can kill this, this can make a token Field of the Dead later, and I don't need the extra land for the time being. That's gonna kill us very quickly. I think there's a chance that these Grazers shouldn't be in my deck post-board. They're just pretty low impact overall. Yes, Yarok is effectively a removal spell. And again, this Blast Zone doesn't have text because there's a Blood Sun here. Yep. Okay. Alright, if they attack with this turn, I get to get my trophy back. And then trophy kills Blood Sun. And once Blood Sun dies, I unlock Blast Zone and Field of the Dead. Oh, that's so unfortunate. Almost messed that up. Almost messed that up. Oh my god. Punt. There's no guarantee there's no guarantee the top of their deck isn't more fire, but obviously should. Hey, let's play. I was gonna make that the last one, but I don't want to end. I don't want to. We were probably dead anyways, but I don't know. If they like draw a brick or two, they draw a brick or two, we probably win that. So like, obviously I'm supposed to trophy the Blood Sun, make a zombie. The zombie chumps the 7/6, and then my Blast Zone kills their 7/6. And then even my lands are okay draws from there. Sorry about that. I'm just clicking too fast. Let's take this Nexus and chuck it to the bottom. That's true. Speaking of all this food, I should go microwave my pizza. That sounds like a great idea. BRB.
No obstacles.
The Giordano's actually reheats really well. Their thinnish crust is not a soggy mess, which is great. Quite good. Rejuvenator's a great draw here. Yeah, I'm gonna play out the Arboreal Grazer just so like it fits into my mana here. It's never gonna do anything else for me, so. Would appreciate your opinion on what to register in Modern Jund, Pulse, or Assassin's Trophy. I would register Trophy first every time. Jack the Maniac, thanks for 19 months. I appreciate that. Welcome back. Man, I even had the pro microwave strats there of managing to mute my microwave before it sounded off, and everybody watching checked their own microwave. All about the pro microwave mutes. I hope you appreciate me. Unemployed Sofa, thanks for the 9 months. I appreciate that. Welcome back. They're not playing Bellhaunt. That's true. Some of them might be playing. Oh, I'm dumb. I should have played Cavalier, knowing they had Teferi, right? I should have played Cavalier, knowing they had Teferi. Alright, I did it once, I'm gonna commit to doing it again. I think this is fine. Yeah, speaking of, only 61 weeks, 3 days, 11 hours, 52 minutes, and 54 seconds until he rotates.
I am not going to sit this one out. Let's take it back. Only will tell. Oh, I've done the hero thing before.
I know 88 ways to defeat you. Just keep an open mind.
All right, hoping to find a Field of the Dead here, so we can start getting that going. Sweet. Sheriff Wiggles. Thanks for all the sweet content, especially the organization. Well, thanks for keeping me around. Hope you're having a wonderful Monday and start your week.
This might be a bad idea. Sorry I'm late. You know what? I'm not done yet.
Yeah, this mana base is one of the things I'm more proud of in my deck building career. I spent a lot of time building the mana base in this deck, and it works very well. It meets all of its requirements, from being able to cast like triple green pretty consistently on 5 to like enabling field very consistently to having a good range of utility lands. It does a lot pretty right. So I think I've been happier with Tamiyo over Crucible, Larry. We might get instant speed Gaea's Wrath here. Yep. I think I'm just gonna go ahead and put Risen Reef on top of my deck. I could slot Trophy on top. Yeah, I probably want Trophy, huh? And then we'll play Yarok and make 2 zombies post-combat.
Trust me, I have a plan.
My mind
Matter
needs
of
a
time.
rest.
I'm sorry I have to do this.
Well, shoot. I think that's probably dead. If they have Stone Cold Nothing, we could maybe still kill them. So for those that missed it, Elder Spell allowed them to ramp into their Teferi ultimate effectively. So, pretty dead. If they don't have a sweeper and we hit like double field off this Cavalier and this Rejuvenator, we could maybe have a chance to like run them down with creatures through this emblem. But if they have another sweeper, we're gonna be dead. Well, that sweeper to me feels like they probably have another one. Maybe. Yeah, I don't know. Let's find out.
Now what? Sorry I'm late. Here we go.
Alright, so sideboarding this matchup, Disfigure and Arboreal Grazer are awful. Even if they have Hero, Noxious Grasp and Trophy are fine. You can also just go over the top of it by making zombies. Growth Spirals, the next like replacement level card. Ramping isn't super important in this matchup. We just want to get all of our trophies and grasp spins along with our shifting Ceratops. Some of these Esper decks have unmoored egos of their own in the sideboard, so if they ego our Field of the Deads, I want more actual threats that we can kill them with. Yeah, they have to go. I think this matchup's pretty good for us on average. They have to go way over the top of us with a surprise Teferi alt or a Command the Dread Horde. And I think we do our thing a little bit more consistently than they do either of those things. Obviously, it's Magic and there's a lot of variance in the game. So, like, good matchup doesn't mean unlosable, but I think, you know, if we played this match, you know, 100 times, I'd probably win 65 or 70 of them, I'd bet. Hey, Brendozer. Thanks for dropping in from YouTube to drop off that Prime support. Hope you're having a wonderful Monday wherever you're at. Happy start to your week. This hand, again, is slow, but this matchup's not about speed. We'll go Malady on 1 into Field on 2 into Shock this in, play Risen Reef on 3. Hey, thanks for the 40 months of support, Tom. I appreciate that. Welcome back. Do I have a castle yet? I'm excited. I'm going to get the 4-year badge on my channel here soon. And a couple of others will get the 4-year badge next month as well. Tumos and Trey, I believe. I'm going to go ahead and bottom that. I ideally want my first 7 lands to have different names, even though 2 fields is nice in the late game. And guide. I'd much rather wait. Christy and I are going to do some sweet stuff when we get the new office space built out. Like, we want to do some physical representation of things for people who have contributed a lot, whether they're lots of sub gifts or lots of bits. And I think we're also going to do something special for people that hit 3 or 4 year sub mark. I haven't decided which of the two yet. I need to look and see how many we have at the 3-year mark. That might dictate it. Some kind of commemorative thing for a specific duration. Trophy was a good draw. So it's been a hot second since I've seen Thief of Sanity. I don't really need another land there, and I don't need a second black source too badly, so just gonna go ahead and bottom that. So, the problem with a card like Spawn of Mayhem is that in a format with Teferi in it, any creatures that cost 2 or more mana that don't have Enter the Battlefield effects are likely just not constructed playable. Just because you need to be getting some amount of value off your more expensive cards in this format when they come into play. So that way, when your opponent inevitably plays Teferi and bounces them, you got some kind of meaningful return out of your mana. Like this here, for example, they bounced my Cavalier of Thorns, which feels a little bit bad, but my Cavalier at least got me a land out of my deck, so it didn't just do nothing for my 5 mana. While 5 mana, get a land out of my deck isn't necessarily a good rate, it's better than nothing, essentially. Holy crap, that's good. Yikes. That could reasonably deck us if we don't have too much pressure in play. I think I just go ahead and Overgrown Tomb here. The opponent obliging the point we're trying to make. Oh yeah, that's fine. And if they mill it, it's not that big of a deal either.
No, I am not making this up as I go.
Hone your prowess.
Alright, so we play this. We pick back up Cavalier of Thorns. Make a zombie. Make some more zombies. Zombie, 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 hey, hey. Hoping to fade a second copy of Kaya's Wrath here.
Goes nothing.
Why not play the second field? Because if I play the second field, I don't have the mana to cast my Cavalier of Thorns, and I want to cast Cavalier of Thorns this turn. Ashiok does not exile Nexus, no. Oh, you know what? I should plus Tamiyo before attacking here, because that way if they kill this, I have something to get back. Yeah, I should have plus Tamiyo before attacking there. It's a pretty big mistake. I'm gonna try and high roll a Nexus of Fate here. Yeah, if I'd have plussed her before, they would have just, yeah, they would have wrathed in response, right? Do I just blast zone? Yeah, I probably should just blast zone, huh?
Trust me, I have a plan.
Yeah, we're getting to a point where we can just, like, take all the turns, right? With Nexus of Fate. I'm gonna float mana here so it doesn't accidentally tap my Arc. Do I even blow this up? Like, yeah, I don't have enough mana to recast it.
I noted this somewhere.
There's 9 cards in my deck. I think I was gonna pass here. I mean, they only have 2 cards, right? So, like, if I just, like, make enough zombies here... Like, I'm deterministically finding Nexus of Fate every turn starting next turn, right?
Let's slow this down. Don't worry, I got you.
Seek and find.
Yeah, they have to have Syncopate, right? The only out. So feels like they're auto passing here. I'm not attacking their planeswalkers because, like... Alright, my turn. Yep. Thanks for thinning my deck out. I appreciate you. Welcome to Thunderdome. Enjoy your stay, and that is why there's 1 copy of Nexus of Fate, ladies and gentlemen. What are the odds? Do you think they board the Ashiok out for the 3rd game? MVP Nexus, yep. Incoming Unmoored Ego on Nexus, yep. Yeah, again, like, this hand needs to draw some stuff, but 1, you don't tend to make your opening hand better by mulliganing aggressively against, decks full of Thought Erasures, and 2, our deck's got a lot of lands in it, so hopefully that comes to fruition, that, we draw a few. I greatly prefer this deck to Bantscape Shift. I've been kind of underwhelmed by the Bantscape Shift decks. I feel like the success of the Bantscape Shift decks at the Grand Prix was due in large part to people not being prepared for them. And I think that people have a lot harder time beating this deck with sideboard cards than they do beating the Scape Shift deck with sideboard cards. I feel like the Bant deck is much more susceptible to sweepers than something like this is, for instance. Alright, they left the Ashiok in here, and we don't really have any good answers to it at the moment. I don't have any pressure in play. So, this can't completely mill us out, but at the same time, if we don't have any pressure in play, just looping Nexus doesn't do anything. This notably only kills green and white planeswalkers, so does not remove Ashiok from the table. The LSV is really sharp. Obviously, he's one of the best Magic players in the world for a reason. I'm gonna bottom that just so there's a Risen Reef still in my deck. We need to draw a green source next turn in order to cast this Cavalier. Sorry, an untapped green source. The good news is that this is a differently named land at least, so if we keep breaking off a couple more, and we'll be able to trigger Field of the Dead. This will effectively have been a mill 20, but that's fine. I do hide. Does looping Nexus endlessly result in a loss or a draw? It results in a loss in both Paper Magic and on Arena. On Arena, it results in a loss because of you run out of time on your timer. In Paper Magic, it results in a loss because it's considered stalling. I didn't find a green source there, unfortunately, but we did find this at least. I don't think I want to Noxious Grasp this. It's already drawn a card. I want to save this in case they go like 5th land, 5 mana Teferi, I think. You paid 3 mana to mill me 20. Was it worth it? It might be worth it if they have another Ashiok, maybe. They don't currently have double black, so they can't Kaya's Wrath me at instant speed, which is nice. It finally happened, Tron won a Pro Tour. He says this his opponent plays the second black source. Please don't draw Step Thought Erasure me. 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 Alright, so you'll see because I can play Magic at instant speed again here, I've set a stop during my opponent's upkeep. And the reason for this is, if my opponent has a counterspell for this, it's going to be a Dovin's Veto, which they could have cast on my turn. So by casting this during their upkeep, I'm tying up 2 of their mana in this next turn cycle, as opposed to letting them veto during my end of turn and then immediately untap their lands. So get a little bit of resource efficiency out of it by the timing there. The only thing that really punish, and you do it during the upkeep as opposed to during their main phase, because 1, if it does die, you want to do this before they draw a card, and 2, this way they don't get a chance to draw the veto as part of their draw step. Getting punished for talking up the mana base. That's true. That's true. We were talking about how I like the mana base in this deck, and now we're getting a little bit beat up. Gonna be okay. We've got an Arc that's active. We've got a Memorial to Genius, so it's okay draw. 26 lands later. I love the stream related usernames. They're great. Thanks for keeping me around. I appreciate it. Welcome back. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and draw with this now, because if I hit a Noxious or a Trophy, I can cast it. And again, gonna run back the do this inside of their upkeep for the sake of resource efficiency. All right, and just like that, even though we're missing green, I think we're ahead. Yeah. And again, like, these matches are a slog, and they feel kind of bad, but, like, if my opponent doesn't have a sustained source of card advantage, we're winning. They're looking at my graveyard, so that means they're about to cast, Command the Dreadhorde, and we're probably dead. We haven't been able to pressure their health total this game, which means Dreadhorde's going to be able to go over the top of us here, unfortunately. No, just an Ashiok. Deal.
I am that which nightmares themselves.
What do you think are this deck's unfavorable matchups? I honestly feel like this deck has a chance basically everywhere. I've yet to play a match with this deck and be like, I just can't win. How's the red matchup? I think it's fine. We have 4 copies of Disfigure, and we have 4 copies of Arboreal Grazer, which buys us a lot of time. And our ability to kill the opponent pretty quickly is reasonable.
Train everything. Meditate and prepare.
We're looking to dodge Command the Dreadhorde and Kaya's Wrath here. I think Ego does the same thing better. I think while the Bantscape Shift isn't as good at naturally fielding people as our deck is, I think if you just put Ashiok into play against the Bant deck, a lot of the time they're going to eventually just like hit their land drops. The 3/5 lifelinker is good there too, yeah. Yeah, I'm not convinced that the 4th Yarok for a 2nd Tamiyo is good in this set, because Yarok's pretty good in a lot of points. At this point, do you hold a land if they mill you and you start to loop Nexus? Yes, that is exactly correct, Gengar. We're going to hold a land in hand for exactly that reason. There are 12 cards left in my deck, so we're getting pretty close to looping Nexus. I just want to have some threat after they sweep the board, so when we do loop Nexus, they're like gonna play this and hope to draw a D-Spark, but even then we're still pretty far ahead.
I can no longer stand by.
I guess they can chuck the Cavalier and then Ashiok exile it.
Not so fast.
Sure. And like, I'm killing all their planeswalkers this turn. We'd love to draw Nexus of Fate as our card for the turn. I'm playing this and hasting it because while they do need a sweeper, hitting their health total here is valuable because it makes any copies of Command the Dreadhorde they draw worse. So I want to clear all their planeswalkers. Actually, I'm going to leave Narset at 1. I'm going to leave Narset at 1 here. You think I want to let Ashiok live? I don't know. I feel like this could still go Ashiok could still go sideways if they hit a series of, like sweepers or something like that.
This is hard.
And I'm going to hold on to these in case they hit a sweeper. Sure.
If I were you, I'd just surrender. This looks like a fun new toy.
They're dead, right? They block this, I give it trample. That's a good set. Like I said, not unlosable by any means, but I think the Esper matchup is good. So I think, oh, look at all of our shinies. Look at all of our shinies. Who wants some dopamine? 1 dopamine, please. 20 gems? 20 gems? Woohoo! look at that, chat. We got a preview card from the next set. I hope everybody enjoys my preview card. This is gonna be a card from Elendra in the fall here. There's the 20 gems that I know and love. It's the mythic wild cards are what we want, right? I've got, how many rare wild cards do I have? I've got 210 rare wild cards. We got plenty of those. All right, all things considered, I still like this archetype a lot. I think while I'm happy we played some games with 2 Tamiyos today to like draw her and activate her a couple of times, I do think that the 4th Yarok is probably better. This card is just very powerful. I felt like I wanted more life gain, and Yarok does that really nicely. So I think I would switch. I would switch this back. But other than that, I think this list is super sweet. This 75, I believe, is a 75 up on my website, or something close to it. If this 75 isn't on my website, it will be after I'm done streaming today. We are going to move along to the next deck, though. We got a lot of things we want to get to today, so we're going to go ahead and